behalf of the royal family for being here in this most difficult time so that our country may be kept abreast of proceedings and arrangements as we prepare to lay His Majesty to rest. There is understandably great interest not only from South Africans but from those across the continent and throughout the world who respect our monarch and our nation. We appreciate your assistance in bringing them the news, particularly at a time when COVID-19 prevents many from coming here in person. It is important that people are able to participate in this time of grieving, not only so that they can honor our King, but so that they can find healing from this deeply painful wound. It is through the images, after all, that you convey through the media that many sharing our burden and working through their own grief. Knowing this, ladies and gentlemen, I felt important that I meet with you both today and tomorrow to field any questions you may have and to ensure that accurate information goes out into the public space. We cannot afford confusion, for that deepens pain and opens the space for disunity, which is most undesirable at this time of grieving. I note that there are still some confusing reports being published about the process we will follow in the next few days. Let me therefore explain what will happen from this point on. As per His Majesty's wishes, his mortal remains will be interred in a private burial tomorrow night. This is on Wednesday night. I know that there's confusion about this. Because in Zulu, we say Kusitso. But in this case, in Zulu, that covers even the early hours of the morning, as long as people are not out of their beds. So that confusion is caused by that. This will be done by a small number of men close to the king, fulfilling all tradition. The burial will not be attended or broadcast by any media. The public ceremony honoring His Majesty will take place on Thursday morning. It is being arranged together with the government as His Excellency President Ramaphosa kindly agreed to transform the special official Category 1 funeral into a memorial prayer service. This memorial service will be broadcast live across the nation so that mourners might have the opportunity to participate, albeit from a distance. This is unfortunately necessitated by the national regulations which are in place to prevent the spread of COVID-19. I mean, as you can see from the number of people that are coming here, even at the level of government, I don't know how many governments, delegations you've had. I'm sure you've seen for yourself, even the Deputy President was here this afternoon, and the Minister Didiza. And yet earlier today, we had another government, I would say delegation too, or ANC delegation if you like, where the Secretary General was here, together with our former Premier. This pandemic has already wreaked havoc, as all of you are aware, in our nation. Absolute havoc. We must therefore do our utmost to protect one another. It would not only be illegal, but indeed uncontrollable to allow a large gathering in this time. It is of course extraordinary to bury a king in this manner, in the absence of thousands of mourners. And I know that there are many subjects of the king who are not happy I remember at one meeting that someone was using expression COVID or no COVID, implying that, the grief is such that they sort of ignore even the protocols of COVID. I'm pleased to announce that I've already been in touch with our government in regard to some individuals. As you have seen in the press this morning, who have indicated that they plan to break lockdown regulations and COVID-19 protocols and descend on Nongoma in large numbers. So measures have been put in place to avert this. Let me state categorically, ladies and gentlemen, today that our late beloved King's funeral can never be used as an excuse to break protocols and regulations. This would have gone against his wishes. Let me just tell you an example of how conscientious he was about this. When his elder son died recently, he actually forbade me, because you know that according to scientists, elderly people like myself, who also have morbidities, and have one of them, such diabetes, he said, to spare my life, I shouldn't subject myself, to infection by coming to the funeral of his own son. So it is my duty then, in the circumstances, as traditional Prime Minister to the monarch and the nation, to convey official communications to the media on behalf of the Zulu nation, including the royal family. I'm fulfilling this duty even as I myself am mourning, in order to ensure that lines of communication are kept clear and everything is fully understood. Please use this opportunity to engage me on any further questions that you may have. Finally, I would like to say that the royal family and the Zulu nation at large, the paper that are available to us, once the mourning period has been completed. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I wanted to say, unless you wanted me to clarify anything that you didn't understand in your statement.
Please just state your name and the media house you're coming from. We'll start here and then we'll come across to you.
Okay, Shengi, thank you very much. My name is Goskona Duma. I'm from Eyewitness News. I am Goskona Duma. I'm from Eyewitness News. My first question is, when you say he's going to be interred tomorrow night, does this mean that he's going to be interred from midnight tomorrow, going into Thursday? And I asked this question against the backdrop of a briefing we had, I think about 2 days ago, from the prince who spoke on behalf of the family, saying that the late king will be planted on Thursday. We understand that his send-off will be in line with Zulu customs. And I remember you, I think also about 2 years ago, saying that we will no longer have a state funeral. What can we expect to take place at the memorial service? Will we see, for example, the South African National Defence Force performing certain ceremonial activities as we have seen in previous, say, official funerals?
I'll try to answer the question. The confusion is brought about, in Zulu, I would say, because CEO Mangosuthu. No matter but you know that English, once it's 12 o'clock, it's another day. So that causes confusion. I think it was wrong for people to pretend that there was any difference in what you're saying. Because I was at the meeting of No, it was attended by members of the royal family, the widows, the children of the king, the brothers of the king, other senior members of the royal family, when it was actually expressed that it was the wish of the king to be buried at night. In other words. So I think that that confusion should be clarified by being a question of semantics in the two languages. The Epsugu with us. If you came at 4 o'clock or phone me at 4 o'clock, I would charge you and say, oh, for Epsugu. But you know in English it's already another day, called Epsugu.
So just to be clear, it is midnight tomorrow. It is from midnight tomorrow going to Thursday.
Yes, correct.
Good afternoon, Prince. My name is Clive Ndo. I'm from The Witness. I just want to find out, you emphasized that as the Prime Minister of the Zulu nation, you are the mouthpiece of the royal family at this kind of situations. And but we also get other people, members of the royal family, holding press conferences on the same issues that you are supposed to articulate and to communicate to the public. What's being done to address that?
Well, actually, I don't want any effort to escalate the perception that, you know, there is a cleavage amongst us. But all of you, from the beginning, when the king was ill, I conveyed everything in my capacity as the king's prime minister. And as far as that is concerned, therefore, I have not been told by anyone that I have no right. In fact, my king is dead now. Who could say so? I do not know who is going to be in charge, if there is any interregnum at all. I don't know. But I know for a fact that after the service, the king's will was read.
Any other further questions?
Just a minor question. I'm sorry if it irritates you. You are saying after the memorial service, the kings will be read. Is it going to give us a clear indication of who will be the acting king or queen as his successor? What exactly will that mean?
Well, you know, that would be grossly irresponsible for me to give a free view of what will happen, especially about a sensitive matter like that.
So you don't even know what they will.
Because I don't know what's in the contents, so I cannot speculate, because it's the people that have got the will who said they wanted space in order to go there. So I'm just as ignorant as you are.
Can I just follow up on the second question of what should happen on Thursday? Should we expect, for example, the National Defense Force to perform some sort of ceremonial activities? I'm asking this because I'm confused about how an official memorial service will take place in the context of this event.
You know, at a meeting that we had on Saturday night with the family, or part of the family, it was decided to choose 3 people as a community to deal with the logistics of what is going to happen. And on the same day, I was of course phoned by His Grace, my Archbishop, Dr. Tabu Cecil Mokho, who actually wanted to have more information, because I think he intends actually, because the king was an Anglican, to participate in the service. Ever since they were engaged in that committee, I've not had details, because when they phoned me, I told them that they should talk to Prince Kedi. So maybe GIS tomorrow morning, I believe, will be here. I'm sure then they are in a better position to answer those questions.
Colleagues, are there any further questions? All right, no, thank you very much, Sir Thokoza.
Thank you.
Colleagues,